Ms. Hastings, can we have the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henderson?
Here.
Commissioner Batterson? Here. Commissioner Carey? Here. Commissioner Velasco?
Here.
And Commissioner Burtnett is absent.
Thank you. The minutes of the October 10th, 2017 Recreation and Parks Commission meeting have been distributed. Has everybody had a chance to read through those?
Just a second. Are these on?
Yeah, mine is.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody had a chance to look through the minutes? Yes. Any changes? Then those are approved as distributed. I have 2 public comment slips. Are there any others? I have 2 in attendance. Ms. Souza, if you'd like to go first.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Teresa and Alex, Eddie, Jim, Dennis, Barbara, 2 other people I don't know. I'm so excited today to tell you that yesterday Buena Vista Beautifiers received a phone call that the Buena Vista Park project had received a Frontline Park Award from City Parks Alliance, which is a national parks association based in Washington, D.C., with over 200 members comprised of major city parks and recreation departments from New York City to Los Angeles to Oakland to San Jose, and other grassroots organizations such as Buena Vista Beautifiers. We're honored to receive such an award, and I believe it went up on their website today. They sent an email to all of their members. It'll be in their newsletter. And then further, it goes out to 700 additional interested parties, and it's a worldwide network of parks supporters. So I don't think we get anything other than the honor, but it feels so good after all of this time working to improve that little park. And we should just all be so proud, really. That's our oldest park, and it should be honored, it should be spotlighted, and we're glad to have that focus right here in Santa Maria. So thank you all for the role you have, because you did activate the park. You had the concert, which we're so grateful for. You had the summer program in 16 rather. That was when you had the summer program, and you had the movie in the park, and you had a great movie. That was the best movie all summer, actually. So that did not go unnoticed, and we are grateful for that. Lastly, I brought you each a copy of a booklet that I received when I went to represent Buena Vista Beautifiers at a workshop sponsored by Santa Barbara County called HEAL. And it means healthy eating, active living. And I saw Barbara there and Teresa. It was a great workshop. It was from 8:30 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. The focus really ended up being on cooperation and collaborations. And I will send, I have Rebecca and Laura are on the email list, and I will send them the notice. We just got the notice that all the PowerPoints are available now. So the focus was on healthy eating, active living, and the parks belong to the citizens of the community. So yeah, we get that at Buena Vista Beautifiers. Parks will continue. We will continue to ask for more active collaboration and cooperation with our own city Parks and Recreation Department as we move forward to create a healthier and more uplifting environment for that neighborhood. So thanks, and I'm just glad that I can announce this tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing that forward and advocating for our park. I wonder if that information could be added to the website with under the updates for Buena Vista. Look into it.
We're nodding yes.
Yes. Very good. Thank you, Ms. Souza. Ms. Garrett?
Good afternoon. I'm Judy Garrett, and I'm representing Buena Vista Beautifiers today also, bearing gifts. 2 years ago, Buena Vista Beautifiers group, when I joined it, took us on a walk. It was Cindy Ransack from the Historical Society who led the walk, and Virginia got her to do it, and there were about 12 of us, and we walked the walk that you see on that map I handed you. And we started at we started right by Rec and Parks, and went up to Cook, across to Lincoln, down Lincoln to Park, around, over to Pine, around the park, all the way around the park, taking a look at it. It hadn't been fenced off at that point. And then across Morrison, into the Carriage District where I live on Park Avenue, and back up McClelland and back to Rec and Parks. So my sister came to town. That was in, I don't know, September, and she came to visit at Thanksgiving. And I took her on the walk, and she looked at all these buildings with their landmarks and their historical objects of historical merit. And she said, I could draw it. I said, yeah, draw it. That's what's in front of you, her drawing. And then Virginia and I did quite a bit of research. I know there's a few errors still, I found out, but we tried to research, the addresses, when it was built, whether it had a historical landmark or not. And that's all in any little bit of information we could find out, and that is all in the back. Now, I also belong to the Minerva Club. I think you all know that too. And on December 5th, Richard Weldon is going to be looking at we're going to put it up on a screen at Minerva, and Mr. Weldon is going to talk about some interesting facts that he knows about the map. He looked at it and said, isn't that clever? So we'll see what he does. He's only allowed a half an hour, so he can't carry on too long, but you are welcome to come. It's December 5th at 1 o'clock, and he will be speaking first, so you don't have to stay too long, but you could stay for tea if you wanted to, because that's what the Minerva ladies always do. So I'm presenting you, Rec and Parks, with, I had to frame them separately because you need the back to explain the front. And then I framed both, and this is the big map. Oh, that's
love
awesome.
that. Is that cute?
No, the map is. Thanks. Are we gonna do paper, rock, scissors? Just kidding.
It's just beautiful. It's breathtaking. I can't imagine the time that went into the map and the love and the care, and it's just beautiful. What a gift. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm sure it will find a very happy home where many will be able to enjoy it.
Yes, we'll make sure, we'll let Dennis take care of getting it hung in the office there, somewhere in the lobby area.
Oh, the office. I thought you were just going to come to my house. It would go so well. It's beautiful.
Is that what this is? To buy?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. That's great. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. I have no further public comment slips. Thank you. So moving on to presentations under item 4, we have the recommendation that the Recreation and Parks Commission commend and thank City Manager Rick Hayden upon his retirement from city service on December 5th, 2017, and further direct staff to name the event center at the Maldonado Community Youth Center as the Hayden Event Center in recognition of Mr. Hayden's support of community and youth programs. Would you like to speak on this, Mr. Posada?
Thank you, Commissioners. So, Mr. Hayden has requested that any recognitions that are going to be done, that they be done the evening of December the 4th at his retirement dinner, for lack of a better title for it. If should it be the Commission's desire to adopt the resolution, it would be then we would present it that evening. So if any of you plan to attend, if you would let me know, you get to come up to the podium, read the resolution, and then make the presentation. And we are working on some kind of a little memento. I don't know if, when you've been in the youth center, each of the rooms has a plaque in it that was the original donor plaques. And we're trying to come up with a mock-up, something similar to that, to present to Rick that evening. So that's really it.
Okay.
I mean, I think if we all read the resolution, I think that, you know, it's a description of, you know, from the staff's perspective of what he's given us as far as leadership and support and those kinds of things have been important to the department's, you know, evolution over the last, you know, 20 years of his service.
Right.
Need
There
a
any
resolution?
discussion?
Oh,
Do you want me to read the resolution?
no.
No. Is there
We
any
need a
discussion on the
I,
resolution? or the
I
meeting?
do. Question.
Yes.
The, on the 1, 2, 3, 4th, whereas, the park correction,
What's that?
the park correction to Bob Orak Park instead of Westgate Ranch Park.
Ah, good
Yeah,
catch.
Sheila. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was it.
Mr. Orak appreciates that. There are no further questions or comments. Do we have a motion? Commissioner Carey makes a motion. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll issue it a number and then make that correction, and then we'll print out a copy for you to sign prior to that. And again, if any of you want to attend the soiree, let me know. We'll try and get a table together for that evening.
Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't know if they had sent out individuals, so everybody got an invitation? Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to sit at a table with the commission if we can do that? Okay. We'll figure it out.
I'll sit with you guys.
Okay.
I might.
Thank you.
I have a yes and I don't mind. Any others?
I'm on there.
Moving on to item 5. New business, we have the Recreation and Parks Commission mission statement, and we have a copy from Ms. Hastings of what everybody contributed earlier this year. So I'll open it up to discussion first, since everybody's had a chance to read through that. Any beginning points we'd like to start with?
I like them all. I like the shorter ones. That was the thing I did not like about our old mission statement. It's kind of long.
I would like to voice a similar comment. I think shorter is better. People will read it and they'll appreciate it. And I know I come from a very particular background, but I think saying something along the lines of body and spirit is important, because however you interpret spirit, it will be benefited by the Recreation and Park Department.
Thank you. Commissioner Velasco.
I noticed some commonalities in language in between all of them. I know 2 of them had contemplate and build community. And then others had the enriching programs and enrich lives. And then accessibility to recreational opportunities or safe opportunities. So just from the ones we shared, those were the 4 commonalities in language. And I personally really like the line about contemplating and building community.
I like that a lot. These were hard to, there's so many, and it was, I mean, you could spend hours going through, I did, spent hours going through them, and there's so many things you want to touch, but, you know, little points that you want to make, but ideally you want everybody, you know, our people to connect with it. So I'd like it to be something simple, you know, and not real verbose, and something concise, like everyone said. I don't know about the spirituality thing. That kind of doesn't fit in my estimation, but that's just me, maybe.
I started from the point that Commissioner Velasco did, kind of looking at the commonalities between what each of us presented, and it seemed that the Seattle statement that Commissioner Velasco brought to us embodied a lot of the ideas that were brought forth. And so I kind of wrote something that I thought would change it and kind of incorporate. I said Santa Maria Recreation and Parks provides enriching opportunities to play, learn, contemplate, and build community. So that part would cover our recreation and our parks, so the opportunities for those things. And then we promote responsible stewardship of the environment, healthy people, and a strong community. And it's vague, I think, to leave a lot of room for how the department can move into the future as well. And I think, like you said, emphasizing building a strong community, that opportunity for contemplation, and then I think that stewardship of the environment is something we definitely need to have in the forefront of our mind as we move forward.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just to clarify, because I think I forgot. This is for the Recreation Parks Department, not just the commission, the mission
For the
statement.
commission.
For the commission?
Yes.
Okay.
Then what Commissioner Henderson asked me that question earlier today. And the idea is when you all decide how you want your mission statement to be, then the staff will work off of that as using it as the guidance for us developing not only our mission statement, but also our goals to achieve the points in that discussion. So similar to the city mission statement, we have these key values that we add to it, and that's what we would add from the staff perspective. How do we get to this?
Could we possibly see what the staff comes up with after we kind of put out ours?
Oh, sure.
Like in this draft form, and then work
Oh,
from
yes,
there?
sure,
Okay.
definitely. You don't have to like adopt it and make it official. What you'll do is if you want to come up with something, again, these were a little bit broad for us, so the more succinct, the better. And then we can work on coming up with, our angle of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you read it again, Laura?
Yeah.
Sure. And it's very similar to the Seattle statement. I changed from welcoming and safe opportunities to enriching opportunities. And I kind of combined some of those things. So Santa Maria Recreation and Parks provides enriching opportunities to play, learn, contemplate, and build community. We promote responsible stewardship of the environment, healthy people, and a strong community.
I like that.
So I don't know, I had a hard time because you can start with, we want safe, clean, beautiful, accessible. I mean, you can run through every adjective. Of course, we want all of those things, and where you stop with those adjectives, I mean, so.
My vocabulary only goes so far. Stop it.
Contemplate, that is broad.
Yeah.
That kind of covers you too, right?
Where would
That's
you,
fine.
I guess, where would you add a component of like body and spirit?
In her paradigm, or using the one, we want to promote healthiness in body and spirit. Using the park gives us opportunities to exercise our bodies, and it gives us opportunities to enjoy where we are. So let's see, to give a specific answer, I would say, provides enriching opportunities to play, learn, contemplate, build community, and promote health in body and spirit, or something like that. But again, I also agree that the longer we make it, the more cumbersome it becomes.
Well, I kind of feel that the healthy people
Could be mind and body.
really, I mean, healthy people is so many things. It is building community because healthy people aren't in isolation. Healthy people contemplate
And the best shoe company in the world is ASICS, Anima Corpore Sano and Anima Sano. It's healthy mind and a healthy body is what ASICS stands for. So You don't have to be particularly religious to know that. I agree. I think healthy individuals build community, build healthy communities. I agree with that 100%.
Does staff have any input or ideas?
We're just here to listen.
Well, I like where you took it in terms of the draft. So,
So let's, what we can do is kind of take that as kind of the lead. We'll have Sheila clean it up, and then we'll send it back out. And then when staff gets together, we can go ahead and use that as kind of the, the general guidance, and then we'll come back next meeting with some more details. And
Great.
try to look at that. Okay, and if we can work a couple of items, I was sketching a few things along here where we go to promote healthy bodies and spirit in strong communities. Then we talk about communities, well, that's really people. I mean, that's really what we're talking about. So maybe it's healthy and strong communities, and
That's good.
it's so there's a few play on words we can run around and send it back to you.
Great,
Okay?
great. So do we want action on this?
No, if we just nod and say, okay, go ahead and work on it, and we'll work on it and get it back to you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Mrs. Henderson.
good job.
Now I can move.
Are you leaving us?
I'm going to move.
Oh,
We're going to let Mr. Galarza.
yes. Okay, so moving on to item 6, old business, we have the mayor's task force on youth safety update from Ms. Rayburn.
Good evening, Commissioners. The City of Santa Maria has been working very, very hard with our collaborative partners to make youth a priority in our community. We started this on February 7th, 2017, and it has been exhilarating, it has been challenging, it has been verbose. There has been lots of naysayers, but we never gave up. And I'm so excited because we're finally starting to see the end of that big, long tunnel. And it was worth it because Alex and I were talking earlier today, what type of slides should we put up when the mayor's task force document goes to City Council? And I said, well, there's only one picture that I would like to see is kids at our parks with all of these safe and strong opportunities. That really tells the story. That really tells the story of what we're trying to accomplish. So we had many meetings. We had some of the figures on the Policy Advisory Committee were a little low because I counted them every day. And we had almost 50 community leaders sitting around the table. And what surprised me and invigorated me at the same time is that these people kept coming back. There was a fear initially that they were going to get too busy and they wouldn't want to bother with it. And that did not happen. So we also brought in and embraced the community. We had 5 community forums, both in English and in Spanish. And all that information was documented. We went to youth and we got their ideas and what they wanted. We have probably 100, without exaggeration, opportunities of programs they want, services they need, and this is probably going to go on for a long time. So if you're so inclined, on November 21st, we're taking the plan to City Council. There's a very long agenda, so there's a slight concern that it might need to come off, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We've had people come to the table from all walks of life. We had school district people, we have faith-based people. Let me give you an example of what is happening with some of those people now that we've got the light at the end of the tunnel. Victory Outreach came to Atkinson Park last Saturday, right? And they did a street team, and I'd always heard about street teams. So they came together, they put flyers out in the community, and how many people would you say they had, Eddie?
Over 100.
Yes. And so what they're trying to do is give the word of the Lord along with being a good community member, along with not being somebody that's going to take somebody's lives. And so it's just been, I don't really even have words to describe it all. But I've only seen the community in my career come together on another project like that was the All-America City project. I don't know why I get all the hard projects, but anyway. So if there's any questions, we can entertain them, but I have a list of things to share with you if you have a moment. So the policy committee met 6 times starting in May to October. And I would like to thank the media because most of the time they were really, really nice to us, and they were very supportive of what we're trying to do in getting the word out. So I'm going to give you all the credit since you're the only one there. And I'm very proud of the mayor because she had quite the challenges. And she just took it on the chin and never showed any remorse of anybody and just kept embracing people and embracing people and embracing people. And I'd like to thank my staff for all the help that they gave. David Rodriguez was my setup guy, and he's definitely more talented than that. But anyway, we're going to be working on some things slowly but surely. My suggestion is that we go slowly and make things work. So I'm working with a group of our staff right now to do some type of a midnight basketball program. And so little by little, we will be inserting programs, coming back and reviewing, probably making some tweaks to the plan if needed. But I think Jason Stillwell, our new city manager, did a great job on it. So let me just tell you a little bit about the plan and then we'll move on, because I could talk about this probably all night and really bore you to death. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the plan is a framework for action and it has a project approach. There's 3 domains in the plan. One is strategy, which includes a comprehensive approach to supporting evidence-based strategies. Governance, including collaborative approach, which has certainly been there, and the sustainability to invest and to support in the vision and mission statement for the long term. Mayor Patino and Eddie did a lot of great things. They were in the parks all summer long. They must have talked to youth in almost every school, juniors, high schools. They went to the Safe and Strong programs, and they have created great relationships with our children out there. So once again, the plan will have 9 objectives, and those 9 objectives go back to the 4 pillars, and the 4 pillars are prevention, intervention, enforcement, and reentry. And we will be bringing steering committees to work with us on these activities. So we're putting out a call to action so that people can work with us and make this happen. So again, on November 21st, City Council will propose to adopt the plan. If you could be there to support it, we would greatly appreciate it. And so unless there's any other questions, you can find the complete plan on the Mayor's Task Force on the city website. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to meet with you or talk to you. If there's no questions, we'll move on. Questions?
So if it is passed next week?
Yes.
Next week, next
Yes.
Tuesday. And then we're jumping right into the plan and...
Jumping in slowly. What I don't want to do from the Recreation and Parks Department's perspective is try to do all these programs at once. The staff is already very impacted with all the programs we have. So midnight basketball or late night basketball is something we're trying to work on that so that the kids could come to the youth center. We could get some kind of transportation from our transit area so that we can work with the police department to keep them in a place where we know is safe. So if we could just show small successes in instead of trying to build the world all at once, I think we'll be much more successful.
Right. And then the role of recreation and parks in your position specifically, does that continue as it has up until this point, or is there, yes?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm assuming it is going to continue.
Okay.
We can see your boss.
Say yes.
Any other questions? Thank you. Some of you have had the opportunity to be there, so we appreciate that.
All right. Mr. Galarza, did you have something
Yes.
to add? Yes.
Yes, I just want to give a quick update on some of the things I've been doing as a new outreach coordinator or boots on the ground. I have been going to the schools, all high schools, junior high schools, elementary schools. I've been doing outreach with the mayor. You know, we ask kids questions on what they would like to see in the city of Santa Maria, rec and parks, what changes they would like to see there. They came up with a huge list of activities that they want to see. Some teens say we focus more on the younger kids, that the teens are the forgotten ones. And sometimes that's true, you know, but we're working really hard to create these programs like Midnight Court for our teens, you know, to bring them to a safe and positive place where, you know, they can feel, you know, that they do have a place to go instead of being out on the streets, you know, causing problems or, you know, that's where gangs recruit these kids, where, you know, when they see them out there, when they see them out on the streets, don't have nothing to do. Safe and Strong program that we have, that we ran this summer, was a great program. Because, I mean, we were seeing large numbers, like 150 kids, 200 kids at sites. And if it wasn't for Safe and Strong programs, where would these kids be? Gang members love that. They would love to recruit these kids. So, you know, we went out there, the mayor, Teresa. I took Teresa with me everywhere. We've gone to Los Prietos Boys Camp, you know, the juvenile facility out at Paradise Road, and we also talked to them kids. We gave them a small survey. What would they like to see when they were upon release? Re-entry program. A lot of them want jobs. You know, a lot of them want simple things like, you know, classes on, you know, learning how to write a resume. You know, and we also came across hunger. Some of these kids are, you know, are hungry. They don't have enough to eat. It's not that we just work with gang members or kids that are involved in drugs. We work with all kids. We're working with, I mean, we're hearing things that is blowing us away. You know, it's unreal. But I've been working really hard out there. I'm not the type of guy that likes to sit behind a desk, and no, I'm out there working day and night. I meet with the parents. I go to the high school. I serve as a mentor to these kids. I sit on the attendance review board. And I mean, some of the things that you hear are really sad. You know, there's times kids, you know, have lost both their parents, living with other family members. I mean, there was a time where this kid, I sat there and cried with him. I'm pretty hard, you know, I'm pretty, you know, like pretty tough, but this kid broke me down. I couldn't, you know, but things like that, you know, is where when I promote the Maldonado Center, I really do promote the Maldonado Center. I tell these kids, if you do not have a place to go, be a member of the Maldonado Center, because we will help you. Mm-hmm. You know, nonprofits are great. Also work with Fighting Back Santa Maria, CAC. We work with a lot of agencies. But I think that the Maldonado Center, that's what we're trying to create, all these new programs to bring them in, keep them off the streets, keep them safe, you know, a safe and positive place for them.
He's being a little shy. I've had him write down everything he does, and in less than a year, he's been working with 140 kids.
It's 140 kids. Half of them kids, it's an ongoing. I've been working with them at all high schools, Rigetti, Santa Maria High School, and Pioneer, and not only them, the parents. I go during the day at lunchtime, work with them, and at nighttime, after the parents get off work, I work with the parents and try and find ways to help the family.
And it's an eye-opener, because he called me, we were sitting in my office, I think, and we got a call from one of the principals that there was a kid that was going to shoot the principal. So they called Eddie to talk him down.
some of these kids really relate to me, and I thank the San Marino Police Department. I thank our park rangers because they have really been a key. They send kids to me or to the Maldonado Center, and some of these kids will not open up to other people. I don't know. I have that relationship with them. I guess I built that relationship with them where they trust me, and thank God, I could be a help to them.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Galarza? Mr.
What can we
Burnett?
do for you as you're helping these kids? What would you need that we could provide or I can provide that would help you do that?
Female outreach coordinator. A female outreach coordinator. No, there's, I work a lot with the youth. I work a lot, but there's a lot of girls. Some of these girls out there, and it's hard. It's hard being male working with the girls, But I still work with them. But it's sometimes they have other issues that I can't help them with. But Miss Teresa right here, she goes with me. I take her with me. When I need help, I'll drag her out of that office. And I'll say, "You need to go with me." And some of these girls, the fights that they have are really vicious, and they're, but working with them and just talking to them at the schools, we refer a lot of the girls to the Grizzly Youth Academy. We have a partnership with them, and just any type of counseling we could get for them. A lot of them have the boyfriend issues, and a lot of them just, like I said, it's not just only gangs and drugs. We work with all issues. We work with all kids, and so there's a need out there. And I'm glad that, this position was created because I think it was long overdue.
Commissioner Velasco?
I guess I thought, I haven't attended any of the policy meetings, but in my line of work, trying to refer kids to get into healthy activities, have we ever considered dropping the age for the youth center to 6th grade? Is that one?
Recently, those discussions have been circulating.
Okay.
Hasn't occurred yet.
Right, I just think a lot of our junior highs are 6th to 8th grade. I think it'd be beneficial. We're seeing our minors starting younger with some of the issues that you're talking about, as young as 11 or 12. And so being able to refer them to the youth center at 6th grade would make my job easier, for one, because you'd have somewhere else to send them. And I think it'd be a great asset to kind of broaden that age gap for them.
Well, the beauty of this project is when you're youth serving organizations, everybody's trying to fight for the money so that you can do all the things, but we're all sitting at the same table together. Community Action Commission, they kind of took us under our little scrawny wing so that we didn't know what we were doing, and they've been mentoring us, and that's a great way to use the youth center because they're very excited about maybe having some activities there too, because we can't do it as a city all by ourselves. We have great staff, but they can only do so much. So I'm really excited on working on those collaborations that are going to come together and have been coming together.
Yeah, and maybe that's where your female outreach partner will come from.
I was thinking about 5th and 6th grade, bringing them in. That's the age group I was talking about because, we go to the schools and some of the things we hear at the elementary schools is, whoa, you know that already, and you're involved in this. And even some of the referrals that we're getting that we cannot take these kids because they're not old enough yet, could they go to the youth center because of this reason. We've had school principals call us that, trying to refer kids to us because they hear about the mayor's task force, the good things that we're doing. We met with the youth panel, not too long ago, and they had great ideas. They had a lot of ideas, that pertain to teens. They said, well, you guys, don't want to hear us out. No, we heard them out, and they had a lot of great ideas, and some of the ideas that we talked about, like Midnight Court is one of them. They want to have concerts in the park, but like for the teens, that's another one. But like I said, the police department, the park rangers have been great, great asset for us and helping us and referring kids and just being there for us. They're really working hard out there. And, so I think 5th and 6th grade would be a good age, but, we'll work on that, and see if it could happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming this evening. Moving on, item 6B, we have the Master Art Plan Committee appointments. Do you have any background for us first or information to share, Mr. Smith?
At the request of City Council, we will be putting together a special committee to review the public art proposal, including the ordinance and master plan. They've asked that 2 Recreation and Parks Commissioners sit on that special committee, along with 2 planning commissioners, a couple people from the building community, as well as a couple of people from the arts community. I would like to look forward to setting those meetings sometime most likely the beginning of the new year, once all the committee members are appointed.
Are any other committee members appointed at this
Not
time?
at this time. The Planning Commission, we have a strong lead there on who will be appointed. They canceled their planning session for November, so we're trying to see if they'll take it to their regular meeting in November, and if they'll pass the 2 commissioners. We have approached in the arts community, Judy Frost, who's an arts advocate, has volunteered to sit on that committee, and we'll continue to look for another person from the art community as well as the development community.
Okay. And then there will also be 2 council members, right?
1 council member, and we have a volunteer, and that would be Michael Motes.
Very good. I would propose that Commissioner Carey and myself stay on that committee unless there's objections or strong feelings towards other people.
Thank you.
So be it.
I have some.
Where's my gavel? Then moving on to item 7, informational reports. We have the October budget update. I think everybody's got the corrected budget emailed in their packet. Mr. Smitherman?
Yes, with 33.32% of the fiscal year completed, we are slightly over budget by 0.38%. A lot of that will be through staffing is pretty full right now. We're happy about that. But most of it's seasonal as we get ready for our winter programs.
So you anticipate that we'll go back under budget?
Most likely it'll drop in the new year, and then I anticipate at this current rate that we'll stay pretty close to budget throughout the year.
It's giving you a hard time. We're usually under budget.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
For the mayor's task force line, we still haven't appropriated any funds, but we have expenses. Is that going to change, or are we just still placing, or?
It's just a placeholder in our budget. We ended up paying for those expenses out of wherever we need the supplies from. When this moves forward into the next year, one of the discussions that we've had with the city manager's office is identifying funding source, number 1, amount of funding, and where that money would be located. Last year in the budget, we created that line item and we funded it for about $5,000. I think we took it out of the youth center fund and just set it there. And it was a place maintainer. So when the budget second year came up, we didn't put any money in it because we could transfer funds in there if we need them.
Barbara Lively and Cindy Hoskins and I are going to be working on a CalVIP grant from the Board of Corrections. So, knock on wood.
And that would be for the task force? Okay.
It would be for programming, the task force, the administrative, everything.
Any further questions? Then moving on, noteworthy activities. The October report is in our packet. Does anybody have anything to add to that?
Yes.
From staff?
Okay. Barbara, do you want to get ready to get set up?
You're next. You could sit down.
Ready for us now? Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Barbara Wiley, Recreation Coordinator, and with me today is part of our team with Wendy Hudson on my left and David Rodriguez on our right. And I don't know who's doing the magic of the technology today, so I think that's being handed to David. Cindy Hoskins is our recreation supervisor, and she's unable to be here today, but as you see with our staff here, we've got our lineup there. And I'm over at the senior center, just so you know where everybody is. Cindy and Wendy and David are located at the old pool office across the street from our administration office in the old pool office downstairs. And I'm over at the Muscle Senior Center on Park. So a little bit about our active aging programs. With the senior center, we have we're kind of co-located with the Santa Maria Senior Citizens Club. And so they offer some of the programs that are happening at the building there, and then we are offering additional programs as well. So it's kind of a shared obligation there to the seniors. And the Active Aging Committee is a group of nonprofit agencies and other senior service agencies who are promoting wellness, both spiritual wellness and physical wellness and well-being for the seniors. And so they meet quarterly and are working on how to just promote active wellness and active aging at any age, just the benefits of using recreational park services, benefits of our contract classes, and then staying in touch with their needs and their requests so that we can make some active aging programs to meet those needs. And the club there is, of course, you don't have to be a club member to participate at the center, so that's a common misconception, but we always mention that because it's a separate organization, so it's a separate agency, and they are just in the process now of selecting their board members for the new calendar year, and so that's underway, and they're selecting those members from their and having elections coming up very soon so that they can have the new board in place in January. So that's an annual event in January where they would be the main liaisons that we work with as staff, working with the board members of the senior club. And then also at 2 locations, we're proud to host the senior nutrition program, and that's the lunch program for seniors offered Monday through Friday, and that's at Atkinson Park and at the Muscle Center. And that lunch program is provided at no cost to the city, but it's by our provider, Community Action Commission, where the meals are brought in. So this slide is great because it kind of shows the different areas of wellness. In the top right, the social part of what we're offering at the senior center, just the way the seniors depend on one another, get to know one another, and have a real sense of family there. Then in the bottom left is the dances. They're held on a monthly basis. And the senior club actually secured a grant in order to pay for a live band at every one of the dances. So they just got that grant renewed. And that's through a foundation actually in San Luis County. So it showed that they were really showing initiative and seeking funds even outside of our neck of the woods in order to pay for the services here. That's a special arts grant that goes to promote live music. So they were able to get that funding from San Luis in order to bring live music to the center every month. So those are the Sunday dances there. And then of course the exercise classes that are sponsored by Recreation and Parks. We just finished our annual celebration of life. We thank the commissioners who were able to join us that day. And that was held last week at the Veterans Memorial Community Center. We hosted approximately 250 guests, and of those, 111 were over the age of 90, and 6 ladies were over the age of 100. So they were all in attendance there. So we got a lot of great feedback, and our whole staff comes out for this event in order to support it, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of Kiwanis, Santa Maria Noontime Kiwanis, and several other nonprofit agencies that do support that event. It was a little bit after the fact, but it's worth mentioning that after the event took place, we found out that we received $1,500 from Altrusa. So their annual tree extravaganza is coming up this weekend, and they just didn't get us the notice in time, but of course that's going to help defray some of the departmental costs for the event, and we're delighted to make mention of that, especially as a sizable donation of that kind. So we just found out this week that we got funding for our event last week. So this was the 14th annual, and this was an event that was part of our centennial celebration. When we wanted to honor, when the city was turning 100, we decided to honor those residents that were over 90. And Wendy's here to talk to you about our contract classes. She keeps very busy with all of the activities that she's planning.
Hello, everybody.
Pull it towards you.
There, okay, got it. Hello, everybody.
So I wanted to tell you a little bit about our contract classes. In 2017, we've been very busy at the Recreation and Parks Department. We have successfully completed 184 contract classes throughout the year so far, and we are adding more to the 2018 calendar year. Currently, this year we've added several new classes to our active aging program. We have several exercise classes that are new that have been very well received by the adults that are in at the Olin Muscle Center and enjoy going to those exercise classes. Also, our summer session is obviously going to be one of our biggest sessions because we have all the kids that are out of school. We ended up having to add a few additional classes to several of our programs because of the popularity of those classes. They were filled to capacity and we had more students that wanted to attend. So we worked with the instructors to get more classes scheduled, and that way the students could still go to those classes. We had a total of over 1,850 students, both youth and adults, so far this year that have participated in our classes at Rec and Parks, and I think it will grow again next year. I don't see why it wouldn't. We have several new classes that we're adding. So currently we have 18 contract instructors that we work with to fulfill the classes that we have scheduled, and there's approximately 27 different programs that we have right now that adults and youth can choose from. We also offer a recreation grant program, which is really a great bonus for families that have financial hardships and are unable to pay for the full price of our programs. We do offer the families for recreation grants per calendar year, and those recreation grants are a 50% discount off of any of the classes that we do have. Normally, the summer months are our major time of receiving those recreation grants because we have so many parents that are trying to find stuff for their kids to do while they're not in school, and they're very thankful to be able to get those recreation grants. And that's it.
Good evening, Commissioners. So our team is also in charge of fundraising, and as you may be well familiar with, we had our Taste of Mexico event this year. A very fun event with delicious food, music, and entertainment. We recruited about 11 restaurants to donate samples of their Mexican cuisine to over 300 guests at this event. So this was a very popular fundraiser. We grossed close to $11,000, and I think our expenses totaled maybe $2,000. So we netted $9,000 at this event. So we were very happy to work it, and we hope to continue it next year. We are another fundraiser or set of fundraisers that we do are our parent-child dances. This year's father-daughter dance featured a late 50s theme. The event was attended by 120 guests, and due to the popularity of these dances and also requests from the public, we decided that we would inaugurate a mother-son dance this year. So this year we had our first mother-son dance. It was a Pirate's Life theme. That dance had 175 guests. Wow. And we are definitely going to continue that. Our dates for next year's dances are February 10th for the father-daughter dance and April 7th for the mother-son dance. Those are some fun pictures from the event, and we did get parental permission to use them. The Holiday Sprayer Project. So we started the Holiday Sprayer Project last year, and we're continuing it again this year for a donation of $20. A sponsor may take an ornament home, either the Santa Claus or the holiday bells you can see on the flyer. And they'll also get a personalized tag hung on an ornament on the community Christmas tree, which will be at the corner of Wickham Broadway here at the City Hall courtyard. This is just a project that we have kind of to get the word out there about playing and about how important it is in raising funds for recreation and leisure programs for Santa Maria residents. If you're interested in buying an ornament, we do have online sales at www.santamaria@play.org, or you can go over to the Recreation and Parks Department and place your order there. The community Christmas tree lighting will take place on Saturday, December 2nd. Festivities begin at 4:30 p.m. and the lighting will take place at 5:20 p.m. And the lighting will mark the start of the Rotary Christmas Parade of Lights. So as soon as our honorees flip the switch, the parade will start over by the JCPenney shopping center. And then also, in addition to fundraising events, our team is also in charge of grants. So as Teresa mentioned, we are working on a CalVIP grant, and we're also working on the CDBG Community Development Blocks grant. And as you're familiar with, or some of you are familiar with, we have our Step Up Santa Maria program that I coordinate. This program started in 2014. It's been very successful. We have about 35 department volunteers that help with many programs over the years. This year, our volunteers contributed over 300 hours of community service with our programs and events, including the Taste of Mexico event, our parent-child dances, our Safe and Strong program at the parks, the City Employee Barbecue, and last month, the Little Smartos event. Our funding for that program comes through Play Inc., who's been very generous with donations to the program. To date, they've contributed $7,000 to the program, so we are very thankful to the People for Leisure and Youth for that. Do you have any questions about any of our responsibilities and programs?
Oh, looks great. Busy as always. The tree lighting ceremony, that's new, right? Incorporating it with the Rotary?
Yes, before it used to be the day before the parade.
Right.
This year it'll be the day of the parade.
Okay. And it's earlier, right? 5:20 seems earlier than it has been in the past.
5:20 normally.
6 o'clock. Okay. Nice. I like it.
Thank you for letting us present.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
All right, I think we're all ready to item 8, Commissioner Reports of Official Business. Does anybody have any official business to report?
As your representative on People for Leisure and Youth, we had a meeting last month, I believe. We went over some of the fundraisers that were mentioned, our budgets, the new Holiday Spirit Project, which I encourage all of you to purchase an ornament to support play, and just a few other. We're also going through a mission statement kind of draw moving forward.
Thank you. Commissioner Carey?
Okay. So, let's see, Guy, it was a busy month. There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
October 23rd, the community workshop focusing on the future of downtown Santa Maria. I don't know who all got to go, but it was an amazing event. It was a 2-day event, and it started out on, I think it was a Monday morning, and it was a walk. It was these people from, were hired from,
Sarah.
excuse me?
It's called Sarah.
Sarah, yeah, from, Seattle, or Portland.
Portland. And
Portland, yes, sorry. And they came and we actually did a downtown walk, the area that they consider to be our downtown, which is our downtown, to see what we have and what we're, what's missing and what the people that showed up, it was just community members that showed up, thought we could use, it was just amazing. It was such a positive, great experience. And we had people from all parts of the community show up. That evening, they had another meeting, which was about, the evening meeting was what improvements should be made to downtown, specifically what improvements. And another whole group of people came, young people. It was a great group. And then the next day, Tuesday, they had a morning meeting for people that couldn't come in the evening. But that evening, they had another one, which was for more of it was an art-oriented, how we could visually make our town better. And it was just, the start of the whole thing, they said, just look around and shoot for the moon. Even if you think, oh no, there's no way we could ever do that, just do it. Let's ask for whatever you could possibly want. And it was amazing. And they're coming back, and I think within the next month to bring the results and how it possibly could pertain to our town. But like a little thing, it was so amazing to learn. We go to towns and you see that there's little bistros and there's seating on the street and there's planters. And I always think, how do they do, Menlo Park, we go a lot. How do they do that? Well, if your town is built with really wide streets, which ours is, because as it turns out, our town has such wide, in our downtown corridors, streets, because when our town was founded, they were made wide enough for 2 stagecoaches to be able to turn around. So we're so lucky blessed to have such wide streets. So there's possibilities that we could have bistros, on planters and bike paths. Anyway, it was really cool. I'm looking forward to them coming back. Sorry. So that got us to Tuesday. That was Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday, the 24th was also the mayor's task force meeting, which was been covered really well. It was that day was the day that the proposed plan was voted on. Actually, it wasn't the plan, the framework, proposed framework, which is the term, which is good. Let's see, Friday, November 3rd, North County Art Symposium, which was amazing. I actually passed these out, and it was put on by AmericansForTheArts.org. We had amazing speakers, and what they talked about was economic vitality and what the arts programs and nonprofit arts programs bring to the community. It's a huge. I mean, we could be making some money there, let me tell you, if we focus more on the arts. We wouldn't need the task force. We have arts for everybody. But it's just fascinating. So I urge you to read these and okay. Let's see. Oh, Wednesday, November 8th, the Celebration of Life, which was a wonderful event. It was just a beautiful event for our community. November 9th, the SBCAG at the Edwards Center, Santa Barbara County Association of Governors, in case you don't know. And we started a conversation about having an open streets event in Santa Maria. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's a really cool event. And here's some actual literature. And it's where you literally open up, or it's been done in a lot of communities. We actually got stuck in one in Venice a couple of months ago. It was like a nightmare, but that's because we didn't know what it was, and we were in a hurry to get home. But it's where they block off a mile to a mile and a half of streets in the town, and initially it's for bicycles and exercise, healthy living. It kind of ties in with what we were saying earlier. And then they have dance troupes. They have all kinds of community little events, art for kids, art for adults. And so that Thursday, November 9th was the start of a conversation, because we're going to be planning one in our city. So that's what I have.
Thank you. I love that you go to all of these things. We appreciate it. There's so many more things that I want to go to, and it's nice that you're there to represent us and to get that information. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes. Anybody else? Commissioner Patterson?
There was so much going on that I would have loved to have participated, and I'd like to voice too that I'm so glad that you're able to do some of these things. Mainly, I did go to a couple of Special Olympics events. One was the North Divisional Games. Our Kiwanis was doing lunches for the athletes. And it's always, it's just heartwarming. It doesn't take that much time and effort, and yet everybody is so appreciative that I made a lunch for them. And so I went to that, and then also the crowd feed for to raise money for the athletes to participate. And all around you can eat, so what can you
Wow.
complain about, you know? So that was the two things that I had.
Sorry, I don't have any official business.
It's all good. It's all good. I attended the meeting last Thursday for the Open Streets, and was so glad that they were there. Kent Epperson, you were there too. I came late and left early. It's parent conference week. But Kent Epperson, I think, was the one that was kind of coordinating it.
Yes.
I don't know the outcome of the meeting, but I assume that there's another one planned. And I know it's been talked about before, but I am a very enthusiastic proponent of it for lots of reasons. One, I like to ride my bicycle, and two, I'm scared to ride my bicycle. Santa Maria is a very dangerous place for cyclists, and we need to change the narrative around here and the perception of traffic and what that means. And so I don't. It was nice to go to that meeting and see how in Carpinteria, Santa Barbara, Lompoc, Guadalupe had one too. It's a real partnership, and it doesn't seem to sit under any one agency's purview, but it's everybody coming together. But I'd like to, that's so off-putting, the beeping, Ron. I think it would be nice that once those meetings develop, if we could bring them and put them on the agenda, because while I don't believe that it falls under us as being the directors of it, I think that we should be a part of it, and I think that it's really creating our streets as a park for a day and bringing people out, and advocacy for health and exercise and parks and community and social gathering and all of those things. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'll be attending late and leaving early any meeting that I can.
Take notes.
Thank you. But that's all that I had time for this month.
Couple of things from our neck of the woods here. So I would also like to thank Commissioner Carey for making it to a lot of the events, and it's good to be able.
I'm sorry, I missed something.
What'd you miss?
The recreation day. No, when the staff.
Oh, the staff meeting.
The staff meeting.
Our department meeting.
Oh my gosh, you guys. It's such a great group of people that work for Recreation and Parks. And it was like such a positive, cool vibe in there. I didn't even miss that.
No, good. I'm glad you made that.
It was so fun. It was really fun. And I just felt good to be part of that. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Well, thanks for coming too. And certainly we know everybody's got stuff to do, and we appreciate the fact that everybody makes some time along the way to do that. So we do have a couple of events coming up. One of them is the Light Sites Holiday Nights judging that's coming up. I believe it was
Are we still judging?
Commissioner Velasco and Commissioner Henderson last year.
Yes.
So the question is, who would like to do it this year? Basically, it's just the staff has gone through, we'll edit through everybody, just have a small group for you to go out and look at and bestow the honors upon them.
I'd love to do that.
Okay.
I've gone twice, so if anybody wants to.
Commissioner Carey volunteered. Anybody else? And Commissioner Batterson. If that's okay with the chair?
Yes.
Good. Then you'll be the committee. Staff will contact you and follow up with you and let you know what the dates are and all that kind of stuff. Also on December the 16th is the Special Olympics Polar Plunge at the pool, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a fundraiser. So I understand there's an effort aloft to have the staff pay for me to be one of the guys that jumps into the pool.
Yeah.
So I guess I would have to accept that challenge. So again, if any of you would like to join me in jumping in, it's a good way to support our Special Olympics program. So that's coming. Also, your next meeting will be your holiday dinner meeting, for lack of a better term. I believe what the plan is that we will convene here at 4 o'clock, hold any business that we have, and we are trying to keep it extremely light. We'll adjourn and go over to Shaw's for dinner. The play board will be joining us at that dinner. Have a just casual chat about what's going on, what's new with play over the year. We'll give you a little bit of a recap. So that's what's coming up. I made a note of bringing some information on the HEAL event to commission. Teresa and I had a visit by Kent, is that his name? From the SBCAG group that came and saw us about being involved in the event. So we will be somehow. We're not sure exactly how, but we will be. Also, I sent an email out. I talked a little bit about the March California Park and Recreation Conference in Long Beach on March the 13th. Well, it's that week. Got a couple of feedbacks from you. If anybody's interested in going, you can get the time. Typically, it is a 3-day conference. There's a track for commissioners, or you can go to any sessions you really like. There's a trade show there. We have a piece this year, don't we? We have a piece on display in the trade show, so you'll get to see it on display there. It's a good opportunity to again meet your peers, board members, and commissioners from other cities if you would like to go. It's really not a Brown Act thing, so because you don't make any decisions, so we could take as many of you as are interested. It is 3 days, so you will have to plan your schedule that way, and we'll arrange for registration and accommodations and those things. And I think that's it from my end. Oh, I had my own schedule over here.
Do you want the dates again?
Can you go, you have to go all 3 dates?
No, we can register you for a day registration, and you can come down for the day. That's possible, yes. It is March 13th through the 16th, I believe. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
14th.
Yeah.
16th.
Is anybody currently registered or going?
Commissioner Carey and Commissioner Batterson have expressed an interest. Commissioner Burtnett kind of said no.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
So if you want to do a day trip, just let us know, and we'll handle that separately, because that'll just be coming down, and you can certainly hang out for some of the. There are some social events, and there's usually like a welcome to Long Beach reception that they have, and they usually hold it at one of the event centers at the aquarium or something like that in the around the convention center area. Okay, we have a few staff that are going to go and kind of see how it goes from there. Okay,
Great.
That's it.
Thank you.
Lunch is still happening?
Tomorrow.
Now we said?
Oh, the staff lunch is tomorrow. Oh, David, I'm surprised David didn't mention that.
Yeah.
So that is the Positive Workplace Committee puts that on, and it's a staff-driven group. David's kind of at the head of that. Everybody's a potluck. People come. Just we get a few of the staff from all the divisions come and participate. You're certainly welcome to come at Manami Center, and if you come, bring some food.
All right, if there isn't anything further, then we will adjourn to our next regular business meeting, Tuesday, December 12th at 4 o'clock, followed by Shaw's.
21, I got an update.